Alright, we are back. Ain't nobody watching, it's just me, but we're still gonna record the video. See how it goes. So we have a Frank Quitely piece here. It's a Teen Titans cover from years ago. Gosh, I don't know how long ago this was. And it printed up at a small size, a mistake. It's like 8 by 10. But I can't find the big one that I'd printed up years ago, and I came across this in the studio while I was cleaning. He's kicked all the psycho crazy Robin has kicked the crap out of all the Teen Titans here. So yeah, I'd never inked a Frank Quitely piece before, and he is my favorite penciler. And I won't ever be inking him in publication, so I decided I'd, throw this up on the desk as sort of a cool down piece. After a long day of inking, my arm and my hand, everything's really warmed up, even though I'm tired. And I still feel like going, but I need something different. I need to look at something different. So it's nice to have these pieces set aside, ready to go. Got a little fuzz caught in our nib there, which kind of worked to our advantage there for a second, but we don't want to risk that. Yeah, this paper's been around for a few years, so it's started to, paper deteriorates just a little bit. It's not that big a deal, but it's a little more fibrous when it's been hanging out in a drawer for years and then you try to work on it. It's just made from tree pulp, so it has an organic quality to it. See. Now see, there's these little kind of fuzzy rendering lines in here. I probably should have done those first. Now my usual inking technique is to define the contours and the figures first, and then go in and do details. But when you do blue line, if you outline something like this area, or if don't say outline something, if you ink something, just there's an area here with the black lines, it sort of brightens everything up, it changes the contrast, and you start to lose some of these fainter lines. So that's why when I do blue lines, I'll go in and do the faces before I do everything else, because those are the most important and they require the most delicate work. And if I do everything around the face first, then the thin, light face lines tend to disappear a little. And that's the last thing you want. Alright, we got some Knuckle Brothers going on in the background here. A lot of swearing. Sorry about that. I forgot their live shows. They swore so much. So usually I play mellow stuff at night, but I felt like I need a little energy. These guys are really goofy band from like 20-some years ago in Orange County here. I used to have their stuff on cassette tape, but now it's available on CD, and I just got a new one. Might be too loud, but we'll find out. Actually, I don't really like that line. It's too normal, too clean. Not enough character to it. Alright. So a funny little story about this band, the Knuckle Brothers. One of the guys singing, his name is John Pantel. And he was a super goofy guy in this band, played trombone, and now he's like a music, like a manager for big time bands and stuff. Worked his way up, but he still plays in a ska band called Ska Pesh Mode. And yeah, that's exactly what you think it is. It's a ska band that plays Depeche Mode covers. And they're really fun. It's really funny. We took my nephew to one of their shows recently and had a lot of fun. Oh, geez, these guys Forgot how much these guys swear. Sorry, everybody. Alright, let's go do these really faint rendering lines on the side of the palm. So he's slightly furry here, and then it builds into heavier fur on his arms. I might want to save this fur for when I break out the brush. And it looks like this is the Kid Flash's arm. There's him. Raven, Deathstroke, Superboy, Donna. It's a cool piece. We used to go to these guys' concerts a lot when we were in high school. It was, they were quite raucousy and quite fun. And again, I apologize for all the swearing in the background on this. This is not what this channel is all about. That is alright. Nobody's watching right now anyways. What's cool about Frank's costumes is he makes them very tangible. They look like they're made out of things, not just painted on, which I'm fine with painted on superhero costumes. Superheroes are superheroes. They're not supposed to be real people. But it is cool the way he incorporates his understanding of textiles. Alright, his arm's coming out from behind her cape here. So I'm gonna do that with brush, I think, too. I'm gonna save Beast Boy's hair for when I break out the brush, too. I'm really looking forward to doing this face. I'm gonna save that for, like, I don't know, I gotta feel really good when I go to do that face. Everything's gotta be on. I'm a little too tired for that face right now. That's why I thought I'd do Beast Boy right now. Alright, let that dry a little. Where should I go next? I'm just having fun, so I'm not trying to organize this in a very efficient way. And he's done all the heavy lifting, so you can kind of ink it in any way. You can approach it in any number of ways, and as long as you just pretty much trace what he gave you. I already did a few things and I'm like, oh, I gotta white that out. That's my normal line. Doesn't work well with his. I almost think I should go in with like a Copic or a Pit and do these contours bolder. I don't know, let's work on Raven's glove. Let's do it with the nib. Let's see what comes out. See how it comes out. Alright, no, I didn't load the nib enough. There we go. Alright, Raven's glove. You go a little bolder. He has a soft line. I'm more angular. I'm trying to find something in the middle. I'm gonna go really bold there. I'm gonna come in with a thin line for now. But I'm gonna bold it up on the outside there. Yeah, I think that's kind of the weight I want to play with. So you just bear down a little more with the nib, I'm pushing it away from me. That spreads the tines on the nib open, allows more ink to pass through as you cut into the board or the paper with the nib. If you are familiar with Richard Friend, the inker, he's one of my favorite inkers, and he's always been a big inspiration, and he's got a fantastic YouTube channel. And he often has a way of explaining that the Hunt 102 tattoos the board. You're not just drawing on it with ink like with a marker or a brush, because it cuts into it like a tattoo gun does to skin. And I remember when I was young and I would talk to him at conventions and I heard him say that. I thought that was so cool. It's like, whoa, making comic books is like tattooing. Not Star Wars tattooing. Tattooing. Hey, it looks like somebody else joined me. Right on, right on. Alright, so I've been inking all day, and this nib has got all kinds of dried up ink inside there. And let's see, you can just take a little blade, cleaning my studio so everything's far away from my desk right now. So we'll do this on this board so you can see it. Doesn't really matter. So I'll go in. So actually, I kind of want you to see what happens if the board wasn't there. You couldn't tell on the desk, so I go in and just very lightly scrape off all this ink. And the ink will flow much cleaner off the nib now. Alright, normally I would never do this on the piece I'm working on, but whatever, for right now it's just a little demo. Alright, it's all dry ink, so it's not going to affect the piece. Just brush it off. Brush it off, walk it off. Alright, so this is all wet in here right now.
Next song's called Pop-Tarts.
Alright, different version of the song Pop-Tarts we just heard a couple minutes ago. Yeah, it's a pretty goofy band. But it has good work energy. I like to create good work energy in the studio. Sometimes that means, you know, fast, upbeat music. Sometimes that means something more relaxed, slow-paced. Sometimes you just gotta blast some punk rock. Alright, he had a break in the line there, but I feel like if he was inking himself, he'd continue it on there. We got some foreshortening here with her forearm. And I do so many jagged, sharp things in my inks usually that don't work on Frank, so I'm fighting my instincts here a little bit. But that's good. You need to always be challenging yourself and not getting too comfortable. Alright, we'll at least continue through with this song for now, and then I'll probably wrap it up. So you notice my hand, I just kind of I stay in one place no matter what. This is my center spot, and the board rotates to where I need to ink it. So it's one of those things, when I started inking, I didn't realize how important the left hand is, and your coordination has to be good. That's more so when you're working on deadline. If you're just, working for fun, that doesn't matter, but when you're trying to do stuff as fast as possible, as good as possible, you gotta have everything firing, all pistons firing. So yeah, it was also a thing, when people first come over to the studio, they don't realize how much noise there is with whipping the board around like that. It's and if you don't have music on or something, inking is it's kind of a funny sounding craft. The nib scratches against the paper, and you go choo choo, so it's choo choo choo, choo choo choo, and it's not very quiet. I have a big open studio here. It's kind of like a loft with the living room next to it, and if somebody falls asleep on the couch or something, they'll have a hard time sleeping if I'm inking fast, making a bunch of noise. All right, I can't wait to get into this robin. I don't like the faux hawk, but I like the effect. Like he did a really good job with it. I just don't like the hairstyle. So it's going to be a lot of fun to go in there and ink it, though. He really gave some good layers and some good naturalness to how the hair grows out and gets styled. He thinks about everything. Yeah, he does draw some odd-looking people, always with the wide-set eyes, but I love that. And yeah, look at this costume. Look at all the stitch work. It's fantastic. Alright, well, I think there were only a couple of you here that joined in. Doesn't look like anybody had any questions. That's it for me for tonight. I am signing off. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Take care.